I don't know how many of you are live, so I'm going to give it about 1 minute before I start the training. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a question that I get all the time. We're going to talk about how to get hired as a freight agent without any experience or without a customer base. And this is a question I get all the time from people. So I've written blog posts about it. I've done videos about it. The feedback has been great. So now I am going to give you some live training on it here via Facebook Live. So, all right. So again, if we get 100 likes by the end of this, 100 combination of 100 likes and shares by the end of this, I'll schedule another one of these. I'll do them for free. And not only am I doing the training, but what my plan is I'm planning on doing live Q&A. So what that means is you guys will be able to type your questions into the chat box and I'll answer them live. And I'm going to plan on being on here for about a half an hour. So that should give us plenty of time to answer questions. Okay? All right. So with that in mind, let's dive into some of the content. All right. So one of the questions I get is, should I be a freight broker or should I be an agent? And in a lot of cases, it makes more sense for people to become an agent because either they don't have good credit, they don't have good finances, maybe they don't have any experience. So starting out as a freight agent makes the most sense. So what you need to do if you're going to become a freight agent is you need to find a licensed freight broker that you can work under as an independent contractor, as a 1099, as a straight commissioned agent. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can make a ton of money as an agent. The last year that I was running my logistics company, our average agent earned over $100,000, okay, working from home. Our top agents make 300,000, 400,000 plus. And so it's really an amazing business to be an agent. You know, very little risk, very little startup cost, and you can make a lot of money. Now, you get what you put into it. I'm not here to tell you that you're all going to make six figures, and I'm not trying to make any financial projections because there are a lot of variables that go into that. But I can tell you that, you know, we had, I think at the time that I left, there was 70 plus offices that had anywhere from 1 to 20 different agents in there. And our guys did really, really well. They got paid very, very well. Welcome, Rebecca, from New Jersey. So with that in mind, to become an agent, you got to sign on with a freight brokerage that you can operate under their authority. And one of the questions that people ask me all the time is, well, you know, everybody that I see online advertising, they all want experienced agents with a book of business. And what they mean by a book of business is they mean that the agents already have existing customers that are giving them freight and generating profit. So these are people that have already been brokers or agents for a period of time. They've got an established customer base, and maybe they're doing 10 or 20 or 30,000 a month in commission, or maybe they're just doing 10 or 20,000 a month in profit, and you know they're making a little bit of money along the way. And the way the agent program works, most agent programs work, is you get paid somewhere between 50 and 70% of the profit on the load. So let me give that to you in simple math. Welcome, Timothy McKay from Chicago. Thanks for joining us. So the way it works is, say I have ABC Shipper, and he's my client, and I'm going to charge him to go from Buffalo, New York to Atlanta. I'm going to charge him $1,500. Okay, $1,500 for a full truckload of widgets going from point A to point B. I would then find a carrier that would haul that for less than $1,500. Let's say we could find a carrier to run it for $1,300, and there'd be a $200 profit in there for the brokerage. That means me as the agent, I would get between 50 and 70% of $200, which is $100 to $140 for moving that one load. So you can see how moving just 1 or 2 or 3 loads a day like that can build you a $500,000 to $1 million a year in revenue business where you can make 100,000 plus. So, you know, that's the basic premise behind how a broker and an agent work together and why it's important if you're going to become an agent that you find a broker to work under. Otherwise, you can't broker freight unless you're going to get your own bond and authority. So, if that makes sense to you guys, I want to see some thumbs up. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some acknowledgement that you guys aren't all sleeping here at 6 o'clock on, what is it? The Wednesday. Thursday. I'm sorry, it's Thursday. I lose track of time. I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm going out of town. Okay, so everybody's awake. Awesome. Awesome. Well, keep those blue dots going. Every time you hear something that's interesting, compelling, something that makes sense, something new, something you appreciate, hit the thumbs up. I totally appreciate it. That's how I measure whether I'm doing a good job or not. Unfortunately, I can't talk to you direct because you guys are all over the planet here. We've got Chicago and we got San Diego and we got Florida and we got people all over the place. So, and what I'm going to do is let me get through this material, Teresa, and I will do Q&A at the end, okay? So we're going to go through this basic system of how you get hired, and then I'll do Q&A at the end, all right? So step number one. Oh, by the way, for everybody that's joining me here, if you hang around to the end or you hang around till after I get through this, I'm actually going to give you a free cheat sheet. I'm going to give you a link to a free cheat sheet that you can download, and it's going to give you a one-page summary of everything I'm going over here. And it's going to give you all the steps 1 through 5, including the bonus tips. And it's going to be a document you can download. So I'll give you a link for that after we get through this content a little bit, okay? So step number one is you got to get trained by someone that's reputable. You know, there are a lot of people out there that are posing as freight broker trainers and logistics people. And you know, listen, don't take it the wrong way, but it's in every industry has it. And those are those people that are what I call wannabes. And, you know, they've never built a successful business. And, you know, unfortunately, their business is training people. It's not building a successful logistics company. So make sure you vet the people that you're going to let train you properly. Make sure they've built a successful freight brokerage. You know, if they haven't built at least a multi-million-dollar company, I would tell you they should probably stick with brokering as opposed to training. And if they haven't built a business like that, then they probably shouldn't be training at all. So anyway, that's it. Make sure that you get trained properly by someone who already has done what you're looking to do and has experience, okay? The second step is you want to create a list of potential freight brokers. Oh, everybody, I got a bunch of thumbs up on that one. So you guys have all run into a bunch of yahoos on Google and Facebook and everywhere else about say that they're trainers. So that's good. So anyway, step number 2 is you're going to create a list. Welcome, Lynn from Covington, Georgia. You're going to create a list of as many brokers as you can find with a focus on smaller brokerages working outwards from you. So let's say, for example, I was looking to become an agent and I'm in Buffalo. Okay, I'm located in Buffalo, New York. I would start locally in the Buffalo area and I would work my way outwards, okay? And I would focus on smaller brokerages. You're not going to focus on large brokerages. Top 100 brokerages are just not going to want an agent who has no experience. So I would tell you, you're going to beat yourself over the head if you do that. All right, you're not going to get the results. But the good news is, beyond the top 100, there are like 15,000 freight brokers in the U.S., licensed freight brokers. So there's tons of freight brokers where you can become an agent for. So start locally and focus on smaller brokerages. Create a list, and I would suggest you create a list of at least 25 to 50 brokerages. You're looking for the name and the phone number and maybe the website, and create that master list, okay? And so once you create that master list, what we're going to do next is something that you may or may not have done, but I strongly suggest, which is you're going to go and create a LinkedIn profile. Now, for those of you that don't know what LinkedIn is, LinkedIn.com is the world's largest professional network. It's a professional networking site that allows you to put your experience and the value and your story into the market that can allow people can see exactly what experience you have, what exactly you do, and the value you can provide. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a profile, all right, a LinkedIn profile. And what you're going to want to do, and I'll actually give you guys the link to that right now. If you guys want a book that I wrote about how to optimize your profile, you can go to this link right here. It's called Linked Academy, and that is a book that I wrote which is going to give you the 7 habits of highly successful LinkedIn users. This has nothing to do with Freight Broker Bootcamp or training. This is a book that I wrote separately for a LinkedIn consulting business that I have, but this will teach you how to create and optimize your profile on LinkedIn. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want to position yourself as a professional. You don't want to position yourself as somebody who's out there begging for a job or who has no experience or value to create, okay? So creating that LinkedIn profile is step number 3. And then step number 4 is you're going to make contact with those brokers. You're going to reach out to those brokers that you created on that master list, okay? Welcome, Charles from Colorado. Welcome. So, you create the list and then you're going to reach out to those people. So the way you're going to reach out to them is typically one of 2 ways. You're going to reach out to them through email or through phone. My suggestion is use the phone. So you want to find out somebody who is a sales manager, who's a general manager, who's somebody that is involved in hiring. And your goal is you're going to reach out to them, and your goal is to develop a relationship with them and to share with them the value that you can provide. Tell a little bit of your story. Lori Marshall. Awesome, Lori. Way to go. So I did a Facebook Live training last week, and Lori downloaded the cheat sheet from that training, which was how to convert 1 customer into 10 customers. And she said she got her first customer doing it this week. So that's awesome, Lori. Congrats. That's awesome. So what I like about that, Lori, is this. It makes me feel good, but more importantly, that you took action, right? You didn't just sit on your hands and say, oh, it doesn't work for me. It only works for everybody else, right? So kudos to you, Lori. Great job for taking action. That's fantastic. So back to the training. So you're going to reach out to them and you're going to connect with them and tell them, the value that you can provide to the market, your past experience, and the fact that you want to become a freight agent. And you want to make sure, step number 5 is you're going to ask for an opportunity. And the way you ask for an opportunity is by number 1, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you explain your why. And what I mean by your why is this. It's not always about money. I hear people say, I ask people, why do you want to start a freight brokerage? Well, I want to make a lot of money. It's really not about the money. It's what the money can buy for you. And typically what money buys, beyond material things, is it buys time, right? One of the reasons why a lot of people become entrepreneurs is because they want to have the freedom to work when they want, where they want, how they want. They want to be able to attend their daughter's dance recital. They want to be able to travel with their Little League baseball team. They don't want to be told when they can go to the bathroom or when they can take lunch or when they can take a break throughout the day. They want to have control over their own destiny. So explain the why. Explain how you want to be able to send your daughter to college. Explain how you want to be able to send your daughter to a private school. Explain how you want to be able to help your son's baseball team go to the World Series and you need a way to finance that. Explain your why. And again, it's not always about the money. And if you speak passionately and with conviction on that why, and you explain to them that you will offer them a riskless proposition. The riskless proposition is this. You will become an agent for them for absolutely free. They don't have to pay you a dime until you bring them a new customer and that customer generates profit. So any of their existing customers that they do business with, you're not going to solicit any of those people. You're going to go out into the market and you're going to bring new customers to the table. And when they generate a profit, when they move a load where profit is generated, you will take a piece of the profit. Cost to the brokerage is nothing, absolutely zero risk to them. And you explain the training and the education that you've taken, it's the steps you've taken, your why, you speak passionately with conviction, and you ask for an opportunity and you tell them it's a riskless opportunity and you explain why it's riskless to them. And I think you're going to be shocked how many people are going to give you an opportunity. Now, what's the opposite side of that? Well, you go get trained. You spend some money on training. Maybe you go fly in somewhere for a week and you spend $2,000, or maybe you do an online training like my Freight Broker Bootcamp, and you do, you spend $98 for an online training program, and you get trained. And then from there, people tell you that you need to get a book of business or they can't hire you unless you have experience. and you decide you're just not going to take any action. Unlike Lori, who took action on the material and the information I gave her, you decide you're going to sit back and think that the world is just going to come to you and give you a job. They're going to give you an opportunity. Well, wake up. Nobody owes you anything, and you can't sit back on your butt and think that people are just going to give you an agent position, because potentially that's a 6 or 7 figure job. I don't care what your experience was in the past. Maybe you were a truck driver. That's awesome. That doesn't mean you're an agent. That doesn't mean people are going to hire you. Maybe you're a truck driver's wife or husband or spouse. Maybe you were a dispatcher. You know what? Maybe you have no experience in the industry. So what? I didn't have any experience either. I had 0 experience when I started my brokerage in 2003. 0, zilch, nada. You guys right now know more about brokering freight than I did when I got started. Okay? But I took action. I never gave up, and I just kept going forward. And, eventually, our first year in business, we did over $1 million in sales. Our second year, we did over $3 million in sales. Our third year, we did $6 million in sales. And by our 12th year, we were doing over $80 million in sales. And so the opportunity is out there, but you got to go out and hustle. And, for anybody who wants to sit back and think that the opportunity is just going to come to their door, it's just not going to happen. You might as well just log off right now and forget it. Save your money, because that's just not going to happen. I don't care what you get into. But if you want to become an agent or a broker, there's a ton of money out there for people that want to hustle. The great part is you can work from home. Very low startup cost. You need internet, phone, and basically that's about it. Okay, so, and then I'm going to give you one bonus tip. But right now what I'm going to do before I do that, I'm going to give you guys the link to the download of the, I'm going to give you a link to the download of the cheat sheet. If you guys click that link, that Google link, that short link right here, download cheat sheet here. How to get hired as an agent with no experience cheat sheet. All right. So if you guys download that, you're going to get an opportunity to, I think that's it. That should be it. Let's check here. Make sure that thing works. That link works. Let's make sure. All right, there you go. So if you click on that, you're going to be able to put your name and email in, and I'll email you that cheat sheet. You'll be able to get it. It's free. It's a one-pager. It's going to go through the steps that I just went with you, but it also has a bonus tip. And here's the bonus tip, okay? The bonus tip is, oh, Lori says, yeah, Lori, it's a new one. It has nothing to do with the last one. This is a bonus tip. It talks about how to get hired as a freight agent with no experience. So it's a totally different cheat sheet. Last week was how to convert 1 customer into 10 customers. This week is how to become an agent, how to get hired as an agent with no experience or customers, okay? So it's a totally different cheat sheet. It's free. So the bonus tip is this, and this is a part of the cheat sheet that you're going to get. It is that if for some reason you go out and talk to 10, 20, 30 brokers, and it's never happened. I've never seen anybody do that the way I told them to do it and not get an opportunity, okay? But in the event that that happens, I'm going to give you a tip. And what you do is this. Rather than becoming an agent for a brokerage, what you're going to do is you're going to go on Google and LinkedIn, and you're going to search for freight agents, and you're going to find experienced freight agents, okay? Experienced freight agents. Misal, you'll see the link there. The link is right there again. I'll put the link up again. If you click on that link right there, it'll bring you to a page where you can put your name and email in, and then from there you'll be able to get the sheet emailed to you. But you're going to make a list of freight agent, or you're going to make a list of freight agents from Google and from LinkedIn. And then what you're going to do is you're going to reach out to them, and you're going to ask them if you can become a sub-agent. And you're going to go through the same steps. You're going to explain your why. You're going to ask for an opportunity the same way as it talks about in that cheat sheet that you can download. And you're going to explain your why. You're going to explain that it's a riskless situation, and the only time you're going to get paid is when you bring new customers to the table. Now, a sub-agent is someone that works under an agent. Now, you're not going to get a full 50 to 70% commission on every load, but so what? All you're trying to do is get started, get some experience, and build some customers. And once you build up a few customers, now you can go out and you can become your own agent, right? So let's say you go out and get a handful of customers as a sub-agent and you want to become your own agent. Now you can migrate out to your own agency because you now have customers. So you've gotten enough traction where people are willing to, risk a little bit with you, which is a little bit of time and energy that they'd have to do to bring you on board. So again, there's 5 steps plus the bonus tip. And I'm going to tell you, if you guys, for those of you guys that don't know me, again, we're going to jump into some questions here, but for those of you that have joined since the beginning, my name is Dennis Brown. I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years. We built 3 multi-million-dollar companies. The last company I built was a logistics company. I started with no experience in 2003. By 2015, that company was doing 80 million in sales. Sold that business, retired to pursue some other ventures. I still own freightbrokerbootcamp.com, which is an online, very comprehensive and cost-effective online freight broker training program where you don't have to leave your house, and we've trained over 3,000 students, okay? So with that in mind, I'm going to jump into some questions because we have, let's see, what time is it? It's 6:15. So we have, let's say we got about 10 minutes for questions. So for those of you that have questions, start typing them in. For those of you that have enjoyed the training up to this point, let's get some thumbs up. And if you haven't shared the stream yet, click share. Share the stream for me. Remember, guys, I got to get at least 100 likes in order to start thinking about doing another one next week. I'll pick a different topic every week, okay? I'll pick a totally different topic every week, okay? So, Teresa, thank you. I use the training. Lori, I have all the programs. Would be interested in working with some of you as sub-agents. Great. So anybody that wants to be a sub-agent, if Lori's an established agent, reach out to her. You can connect. Question from Monique Davis. What is a dispatch service? Okay, so there's a difference between a dispatch service and a brokerage. Okay, more thumbs up. Keep thumbs up, and I'd love to see some shares, guys. Share it on your stream. Click share and share it with everybody if you think this information is valuable. So here is the answer to that question. What is a dispatch service? A dispatch service is this. That a dispatch service typically works with owner-operators, and what they do is they're not a broker and they're not an agent. They do not have a broker authority. They do not need a broker authority, and they really don't even broker freight. What they do is they work for owner-operators, and they find them loads through the load boards, and what they do is they exchange paperwork between that owner-operator and typically another broker, and for that, the owner-operator pays them a fee, a small fee, okay? And so what they're doing is they're load planning for owner-operators. So they might have 1 or 2 or 3 owner-operators that they load plan for, and they take a small fee off of each load that they help find for that owner-operator. It's very different than brokering. A broker is someone that reaches out to a shipper, an end user, a manufacturer, a producer, a distributor, an importer, exporter, someone that makes and ships goods, and they do business with them, and they ship their goods from point A to point B by outsourcing it to a carrier. So it is different. Okay, one works, a load dispatcher works for an owner-operator. A broker works for themselves and provides a service to a shipper direct. I hope that answers your question. If it answers your question, give me some thumbs up. Appreciate it, guys. All right, so there's some other questions here. Sorry about the finger here. Touch on how to start looking for shippers. I'm about to start as a broker with a partner. Okay. Teresa, I really got to limit it right now to getting a job as an agent because this whole thing could spin into answering all kinds of questions. But we did do that in the previous training. So after this training, if you scroll down through the feed on Facebook, you'll see another live training that I did, a live Q&A. I think it was last Monday or Tuesday. You'll see a training where I talk about how to turn 1 customer into 10 customers. So maybe that'll help you. I'm also going to do some ongoing training, assuming that we get enough likes and shares. The only way I know this is valuable is if I get a bunch of likes and shares. That's it. That's the only way I can tell because other than that, I'm just sitting here wasting time. I'm going to go here in the other room right now, just so you know, is my wife and my two daughters. I have an 11-year-old. Well, she's 10 now, going to be 11. She's 10. They're 10 and 7. And they're sitting in the other room right now, and they're none too happy with me that I'm not in there carving pumpkins because they're waiting for me. Halloween's coming up this weekend, and they want me in there carving pumpkins. But I'm here with you because I want to answer your questions and I want to help. Okay? So, other questions. Let's see what else came up here. What else? Let's see. Can this be started part-time? Tim McKay asked, can you be an agent part-time? Yes, you can, but it's challenging. And here's the challenge. In order to become a successful agent or broker part-time, you need to be able to, number one, have internet access. Number two, have a cell phone. Number three, have a computer. Those are the basic requirements you're going to need. But you also need time during normal business hours. Most freight ships from 7 a.m. to about 4 p.m. Those are the prime hours when freight picks up and delivers. Now, there are pickup and deliveries overnight, don't get me wrong, but most freight is moved between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. So you're going to need some time during those hours to be able to make calls and take calls and to be able to, coordinate business. Now, if you have some time, if you have 2 or 3 or 4 hours a day during those time frame, yes, you can start it part-time. But if you work all day long from 7 to 5 and you think you're going to do this at night, you're not, because you're not going to be able to connect with anybody at night because most shipping managers, receiving managers, warehouse managers are gone during the evening. Most are there during business hours. So I hope that answers your question. But there are part-time people that start brokerages and agencies part-time, but they have to have time during business hours to be able to do that. All right. So if someone is a sub-agent for me, we have a sales lead program we use that would have access, that you would have access to work with. Lori Marshall. Okay, so Lori's pitching her sub-agent program. Lori, that's fine. Take it offline if you would. Take those conversations offline if you would. Definitely take the conversations offline. I don't mind that that you do that. You could become a resource for people that want to become a sub-agent. That's great. But for now, just take it offline. Let's see what else we got. Dima asked a question. What do you think about being an agent for Landstar? That's a really good question. Landstar is a huge company, huge. And they're probably one of the only large companies that I know that will sometimes take agents who have no experience or no customers. You might need a little experience, but if you don't have customers, they may take you. The only downside to becoming a Landstar agent is that because they are so large, a lot of the times, a lot of the shippers are already taken and you won't be able to do business with them because they're already assigned to another broker of record. So another broker is already doing business with them and you may run into a challenge there. But other than that, they're a good company. They pay their bills on time. They've got good credit. Their technology is pretty good. They've been around for a long time, and they have trucks. So as a whole, I have nothing bad to say about Landstar. Okay? So Monique Davis asks, Dennis, do you recommend any freight brokerages to contact? Okay, so here's the hard part, guys. I just sold my freight brokerage in February. And I'm bound by a non-compete, as everybody is when they sell their business, right? And I cannot recommend any individual freight brokerages that you go to. Now, I can tell you that if you want to go to the brokerage that I built, logisticdynamics.com, feel free. In the past, they have never taken agents. When I was running the business and I was the CEO and building that business, I did not take agents who did not have a book of business. We didn't need to. We were a top 100 brokerage. We didn't need to do it. But there are times that I've heard where they will sometimes take agents without a book. So feel free to reach out to them, logisticdynamics.com. I have no say in it. I'm no longer involved there. I sold that business, but they're a good company. They pay their bills. They've got good technology. I built that company from the ground up. So you can feel solid that they're going to take care of you if they do give you an opportunity to become an agent. Okay, so that's the best I can do. Dima, I've been working for them for a year and a half. Perfect, awesome, fantastic. And Teresa, okay, an agent question. Should brokers keep the shippers that agents get as customers when that agent leaves? I think that's rude because it's the effort, but what's the usual deal? Good question, Teresa. So if you become an agent for a brokerage, you're going to sign an agency agreement. It's going to be an independent contractor agreement that's going to define all the rules and guidelines and everything that's going to incorporate as far as commissions and customers and all that. You do not want the agent or the brokerage to own those customers. Those, as an agent, those customers are your customers. They are the agent's customers, not the brokerage's. Now, the only exception to that is if the broker gives you a customer that they've been doing business with and they want you to help grow that account, now that would be the broker's customer. But as an agent, if you're bringing new customers to the table, that brokerage would not own those customers. You as the agent should own them. And you need to make sure you read your agency agreement to make sure that you're protected. Do not sign on with an agent that says any of your customers they own. Don't do it. It's not worth it. And I'm going to tell you right now, any reputable agent's not going to do that. They're just not. They're just trying to take advantage of you. And I would go to the mat with anybody that said anything any different. Okay? So if you guys are enjoying the training, give some thumbs up. Make sure you share it. I'm going to take, guys, we got 5 more minutes, okay? Max 5 minutes. I can hear them in the other room. They're restless and they're probably a little upset with me. But I'm going to answer a couple more questions. Let's see. I heard of some that keep them, and that's not ethical. No, you definitely don't want to do that. You definitely want them to agree that they are not going to go after your customers in the event that you leave, okay? So Monique Davis, do shippers normally work with multiple brokerages? Is the freight being moved exclusively to a brokerage? Most shippers work with multiple brokers, yes. And that is large and small companies, right? Large companies may have 5 or 10 or 15 brokers they work with. Smaller companies typically have 1 or 2 or 3, all right? But yeah, it's not unusual to have multiple brokers that they work with, all right? So it's not unusual at all. So hope that helps, Monique. Other questions? Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Did I miss any questions? What questions did I miss, guys? Is there anything else? Give me some thumbs up. Give me some thumbs up and a share here. I don't know where we're at with thumbs up. And for those of you that haven't gotten that cheat sheet, make sure you guys get that cheat sheet. I'm telling you right now, you're going to be upset if you do not get that cheat sheet. I'm going to put the link here again. It's free. All you need to do is put your name and email in, and you guys will get that cheat sheet. Again, it's absolutely free. It's going to go through all the things we covered here in a one-page document that you can print out and keep, and we'll walk you through the process. It'll even go over that bonus tip that I talked about. Gary, okay, so let's see. Shazia, but why shippers cannot go direct to truckers? Okay, this is outside of the scope of what this training is about, which is how to get a job as an agent without training, but I'll touch on it briefly. The reason why shippers need brokers is because most carriers, I don't know if you guys realize, but 85% of trucking companies in this country have less than 6 trucks. 85%. They're very small. And so with only 6 trucks, they have very limited capacity to do business with shippers because they basically, those types of trucking companies usually only have 1 or 2 local clients that are local to their area. They send their freight out and then they take a backhaul back home to try to get their truck back to position it for that shipper. Now, brokers, so as a shipper, would you rather call a guy who has 6 trucks and may have limited capacity to do business with him and help him and be competitive, or would you rather call a broker where my brokerage, we had over 40,000 trucking companies that we had done business with? Would you rather call 10 or 20 trucking companies to find a truck, or would you rather call 1 broker? So the answer to your question is time. They'd rather make 1 phone call and get it done than they have to make 10 or 20 or 30 calls to find an available truck. That's really the bottom line. It really comes down to saving time. Okay? So let's see what we got here. Gary says, what were your biggest challenges when getting started? Again, trying to limit this to how to get hired as an agent. So I'm not going to dive into that. Let me see if there's any agent questions specifically. If not, maybe I'll come back. Why they need middleman with freight broker. Hope you understand that now, Shazia. Let's see. Juanita Angel, what's the difference? Midstream here, sorry. What's the difference between your online training and hands-on besides price, of course? Wow. Well, okay. Well, one is a training, more of a do-it-yourself type of, it's got articles, videos, contracts. That's what my online training is at freightbrokerbootcamp.com. Hands-on is hands-on. You get hired into a brokerage or you get hired into a trucking company and you work as a dispatcher or as an agent. You're going to be doing the actual job. So there's a big difference, okay? One is you're put right into the fire feed first. The other one is you're learning it and then you go and do it. Okay, so I strongly recommend, even if you plan on going and getting a job inside of a brokerage, take the training because it's going to save you a lot of time and a learning curve when you do get that job. Okay, so another question. I have a carrier company running 30 drivers. We run New Jersey, New York, PA, Connecticut, Rhode Island, dry. Okay, so that's a that's a totally different method. It's not a question. Limit the feed to questions and feedback, guys. Carlos says, he's a member of the site. My question is, do you have a link or something that covers a mock freight broker call? I'll tell you, Carlos, I don't work from scripts, but here's what I can tell you. I have a ton of blog posts where I talk about sales and how to do that sort of stuff. So, why don't you submit a ticket through the Freight Broker Bootcamp, and I'll try to point you to those resources, okay? Let's see. And we're going to get rid of Masal here because Masal is marketing his carrier to the rest of the group here. So if you guys want to connect with him direct. Do you have any alternatives of DAT and Truck Stop? What is it? Get Loaded is another one. The one that I like is Truck Stop. Secondly, I like the DAT. It's a little more expensive. And then third, I would say Get Loaded. Those are the three big ones. So as far as load boards are concerned. So, all right, guys, listen, we got about 1 minute here. How many of you are going to or have already downloaded the cheat sheet, How to Get Hired as a Freight Agent Without Any Experience or Customers? Give me a thumbs up if you have or plan to download that. That's it? Come on. I feel like I wasted my time here. No, I'm just kidding. I do want to help you guys. I hope this makes sense. Get that cheat sheet. All right, great. So we got some thumbs up. One last thing. Besides the thumbs up, who here shared the stream with their network? So who clicked share and shared it on their Facebook page? Put it in the chat box. Say, give me a big yes or I shared or something. Monique, the things you want to put on LinkedIn, connect with me on LinkedIn, and then you'll be able to get access to my book at linkedacademy.com, which goes through how to set up your LinkedIn profile. If you set up a basic profile and connect with me, tell me that you met me on Facebook, we'll connect, okay? All right, so Teresa Shepard, you'd like to know more. You want to know more about the training? Listen, if somebody's ready to just get enrolled in Freight Broker Bootcamp or learn what that course is all about, there's the link right there. So, Dennis Zabawa shared it. Awesome. Great job. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate it. So, guys, all right, listen, I'm going to wrap it up. I got to go carve pumpkins with my kids. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me some more likes. Watch this in replay. Share it. And at the end of the day, after this is all said and done, if we get at least 100 likes, shares, combination, I'll do another one next week. We'll pick a different topic. Next week, I don't know what the topic would be, but I'll pick a different topic every week and I'll keep doing these. I do blog posts all the time, but I think people love Facebook. They love the Facebook Live video. They love the cheat sheet, so make sure you get that cheat sheet. Listen, guys, it's been awesome. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you soon.